What's up, gamers? It's time for another edition to the Soul Calibur 222 guide featuring Link, the gaming guide where we are collecting not only everything in the museum, but the weapons as well. Now, as you guys might be able to notice, camera's a little bit pointed down and I gotta lean back a little bit because my back is still under heavy recovery, and I think I sort of overdid it when I started to feel a little bit better. So, I got really nothing else I can do other than lay around and watch Netflix or lay around and watch myself play games. So that's what we're going to do here today. So without further ado, let's just continue on with the Soul Calibur 2 gaming guide. Let's get into it. Alright, now to start us off, we're on subchapter 3, Polex. And we start off up against using Soul Edge Complete for some reason. We're using Soul Edge? Okay, so at this point we've obviously bought Soul Edge because we didn't unlock it. We've unlocked Soul Edge at this junction. Once again, all of the buying will be taking place at the end of completing Weapon Master Mode 2 because I'm going to showcase all the shops and everything you can buy in every shop in order. So you guys are just going to have to be patient about that. It just made more sense to make a shopping guide as one whole video, right? So we defeat Sung Mina pretty heavily there. Now your health decreases over time in this particular instance. So we're up against Voldo. Shouldn't be too bad. Ooh, wait a minute. We gotta fight 5 different... Oh, is that why we're using Soul Edge? I'm not sure why we're using Soul Edge Complete. Maybe we just find it a little easier to utilize. But yeah, we have to defeat 5 people while our health goes down. Now, thankfully, it seems to recover after every match. We don't know the full extent of how much, but it does recover. But Voldo and now Ivy, my god. Thankfully, there is a ring out capability here if we need it. But yeah, we're taking... the health goes down at a pretty steady pace as well. So we gotta hope... Oh, maybe that's why we're using Soul Edge, because of the higher damage output. That could be it. I assume Soul Edge Complete does more damage. As ugly as that shield is, sometimes aesthetics will not be the, the deal. Okay, so Link up against Yoshimitsu, and we're doing pretty well. Pretty standard, pretty well. Okay, there we go. 3 out of 5 so far. Not doing too shabby, As I said, once again, guys, if I stop short or whatever, it's because I'm either trying to catch my breath or my back's giving me the little twinges and such, so it gets caught in my throat once in a while. I'm trying to take it easy, but I'm bored out of my skull, so let's make content. I don't think sitting in a $200 comfortable leather chair is going to hurt my back. And we do end up defeating Taki which is surprising, and yes, that just goes to show you right there. The health bar does not completely recover, so now we're going to be at over half to try to defeat Assassinus, the 5th battle, while still losing HP. If you start off like I did, it's not great. So you definitely want a high damaging output weapon like Soul Edge Complete there. And we do manage to complete the mission, and we level up to level 57 as an Iron Conqueror, which is great. So those are those 2 missions, or that's the Sung Mina mission, and now you got to do this mission obviously again as the secondary, as the extra mission. The enemy is quick and your health decreases over time. Defeat all the enemies under these conditions. All right, and here we go. Boom. Up against Voldo here. So it's the same members, it's the same matchup. And we're back to the Master Sword instead of Soul Edge Complete. I'm not sure why. But we do defeat Voldo there, so it's the same idea, it's just going to be more difficult. Obviously, the extra missions, the AI is generally a little stronger. The mission parameters are a little more difficult. So that's what we're into right now. So yeah, up against Ivy, and once again, as your health goes down, you're going to feel the need to almost rush. You obviously can't take your time, so you definitely want to finish them off early. And now we're under half health. How much are we going to recover? You know, 3/4 of the health bar isn't bad is what we ended up with for the third fight. But yeah, so this is where we want to capitalize so we get more health back. So really try to push it up against Yoshimitsu here. And if you can get them to the edge, even better. If you can get them, you know, a ring out early on, like that, and then we're over half health, we should recover the full amount. Yes, we do. So now we're back up to full HP for the last two fights. Taki, one of the two guard demons of the game, and then Assassin, who is just standardly just an all-round good player. Similar almost to a Young Sung type of player, like not bad, not specializing in one exact tempo, just in general. And we do manage to beat Taki, get our full HP back for up against Assassin. Once again, this is sub-chapter 3, as you guys know, so just follow along with this, defeat these. There's only 3 missions in this chapter, but you have to, of course, do all, you know, you have to do the extra missions as well, so there's, each location is worth 2, right? And when you do that, finally, and complete that whole thing with the extra mission, you'll unlock a new feature in Assassin. This is how you unlock the character of Assassin in Subchapter 3 after defeating that mission twice. That adds more to our museum count. Let's go. Excellent, excellent. And now, with that, we unlock the Hero's Trial. Another dungeon. Another fantastic dungeon that, because we've unlocked it, we are going to have to do, of course, twice. So this is fantastic. Hopefully this dungeon isn't super long, but it is in a sub-chapter. It is one that wasn't unlocked in the first round of Weapon Master Mode, so we can assume at least 15 rooms. So hopefully it doesn't take us forever. Hopefully we don't lose a whole lot. Zhonghua here is giving us a bit of grief. And even when we guard, doesn't seem to matter too much. And, alright. I'm wondering why we didn't go for the grapple there, but it didn't end up mattering. We do defeat Zhonghua. And of course, right now we're level 57. We're going to need at least another about dozen levels or so to reach, of course, level 72, which would be, yeah, we need another like 15 levels. So even though you think like, oh my god, these levels don't really matter, they do matter for unlocking, you know, the final chapter, the final area. It's an extra chapter, of course, but still, it's still the final chapter. It's going to be the last one you unlock. More than likely, anyways. I suppose there's the possibility you could do everything and still have one other thing to unlock without doing certain missions to unlock other sub-chapters. You could, but why would you? So that was the second fight. We're just going through Hero's Trial, as I said. Getting these dungeons out of the way, I mean, it's long, it's a little boring, but some of the fights at least can be entertaining. And in dungeons like this, it can be more interesting as the stages sometimes change, like the little triangle one. The ice stage is always annoying, but at least entertaining to watch, right? Alright, this is the one that goes all the way around. So I'm going to say that this is over 20 rooms. Yep. We going to be here a while, ladies and gentlemen. Let's make the most of it. Let's hope we can clear these guys out with relative ease. Not lose too many fights. So obviously, as I said, the editing process of this was definitely long, just in general. The entirety of mastering the whole game, and editing the dungeons would have taken, you know, a lot longer. So I showcased the entirety of the dungeon, start to finish, all losses included every time. Yep. The back certainly is not in great shape, but up against Cassandra here. Just trying to knock her out here. Or ring her out, I should say. But at this point, it's going to be a knockout. Kept going for that, like, final, alright, let's get her in position. Let's try to knock her off the stage sort of idea. None of it ended up working. In the end, we just did what we do. It's our nemesis Berserker, who is going to excel on stages like the ice one with his long range. And we're trying to knock him out. But he rings us out anyways because we guard. But we were having a horrible time. So not only did we get the ice stage that we were talking about, we also got a Berserker, our arch nemesis in this gaming guide. And look, he even looks blue this time. He's, oh man. Yeah, that's gonna happen a lot. There's no rhyme or reason for it. You either get lucky on those stages or you don't. It is what it is. Okay, maybe we'll have better luck this time. Alright. Oh man, and he's taking like no damage, by the way. So we do need to ring him out. Yeah, there we go. I was wondering why we had so little damage done on him, but I just noticed that one full attack did like this much to the sliver of his health, so realistically he needed a ring out. There was no ands, if, or buts when it came to that, so. Interesting, interesting. Alright, here we go, up against Ivy. We're guarding, we're playing it a little cautious. Then we go for the full-on brute force. Brute force is our friend. Trying to get that ring out. She's not having anything to do with it. And she's managing to do all the chip damage now. She's guarding against everything we put out, and she's likely to take this. Unless we get that. No. Oh, we managed it just barely. So that was a really close fight. A little bit of back and forth there against Ivy. And we managed to take that one. But yes, this is going to be the square all the way around, and then there's going to be, I believe, 2 offshoots. It's either outer or inner, or an inner and an outer, or 2 outers. I forget exactly the layout of this dungeon, but of course it won't change the second time we have to do this. And it's going to be quite a few rooms, but that one at least only took 10 seconds, nice and early, to beat Taki there. The ring outs are nice because they make the matches go quite a bit quicker. Oh, this isn't what I'm thinking of. This, well, it is. It's just, it's a smaller square than I remember. Okay, up against Assassin. Let me guess. Do we have to fight one of every character again? Oh man, we shoved his ass. Like, this match must have had the flying feature, because boom, that gravity, that pushback feature was a real one there. Because it seems like the sub-chapter ones want you to fight either like a monotonous amount, like the Berserker chapter, or they want you to fight multiple, like one of every character. Now this one obviously is not the case, because this is the second Taki at the very least, who in 8 seconds kicked our ass. So, alrighty. Let's try this again. Let's do a little, just a wee bit better, guys. A wee bit better would be helpful, don't you think? And now it's up against Mitsurugi, so yeah, I'm totally full of shit on this one. That was the previous dungeon we were doing where you had to fight one of every character. This one seems to be at random. No rhyme or reason. We almost get the ring out, and then we do get the ring out. It took us about 15 seconds or so, but we managed it. And yeah, this does have the offshoot I was thinking about. We still got to go all the way around to make sure we cover all the rooms, because I'm sure there's an unlockable somewhere. And now it's Link versus Link. Let's go, baby. And of course, because of the quicksand, some of our combos are a little bit, not useless, but going to, oh my god, every time. Finally get a grapple on his ass. Now he's standing on solid ground. We might actually have a shot here. No, he's back into the sand. We go for a simple horizontal slashes, and he's able to do that spin attack. I don't know how to do the spin attack, I'll be honest with you. And we lose to the spin attacking Link. We do lose to him. That is very unfortunate. Let's try that one again. Obviously, we're going to try them all again.
Entrust your nobles. Final battle. Fight.
Okay, so this one is a set battle as Link. So I'm assuming that this might be one of the ones where we get an item or get a feature, because it's the same map and the enemy did not change. So I'm going to assume that Link is set here. Sometimes that happens in dungeons. Oh, it's just a milestone one with the 300 gold. Yeah, it's just a milestone fight. And still not to the boss, though. Still not to the boss. Now, Nightmare. Okay. Okay, you either go defensive against Nightmare or hyper offense. There's no real... And we're doing a combination, and that's a terrible idea. Okay, we're going for the ring out. We do trip him up. Oh, but he has the fancy footwork. Keep the guard up, and boom. Okay. We need one little hit. One little hit. Boom. Okay, right down to the wire. 25 seconds of craziness, but we do end up defeating Nightmare. And there's the boss room. But we still have to do this sort of L shape by the looks of it all the way around to make sure that we don't miss out on any unlockable features. So unfortunately, we have to suffer longer through this dungeon. Now you guys, obviously I am doing this so that you guys don't have to, unless you want a little bit of gold or you enjoy all the fights. Or you want to get wrung out by Raphael, which I don't believe has ever happened to anyone ever. Like, he's not the ring out stylist, you know. So that's quite funny, that. And now this time it's Cassandra instead of Raphael, so we don't have to deal with his ass, but we do have to deal with another sword and shield user who loves to block. She's not a guard demon as much as Taki and Talum, but she does love to block. But thankfully, the ring out function is a thing. So there goes Cassandra. So yeah, we're gonna have to go all the way around, and as I said, I do this so you guys don't have to. You can basically find whatever item or whatever you're missing. If you can't find it in a shop, you know, any of the weapons that are unlockable in the dungeons, whether it's the extra mode version of the dungeon or another mode, you'll find it here. You guys can simply follow along here, which room I was at, because that never changes. You beat that guy, then you can go straight up and beat the boss. And if you don't care about the full-on weapons, then you don't need to do that basically ever. Because I don't believe there's any real... I can't think. There might have been one, but I can't think of any unlockables in a dungeon, not including the boss unlockables, obviously, that has anything but weapons. Right? So, I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that most of the unlockable things within the dungeons at random rooms are just weapons. So, take that what you will if you don't care about getting all the weapons, or you don't, you're just going to buy them all, and as I said, I haven't confirmed that every weapon is purchasable. Maybe a couple of them are dungeon exclusive. I don't know. I'm not sure. I never cross-referenced all of that. So... But you can certainly just... Or, once again, if you love Soul Calibur, I mean, playing this obviously is a lot more fun as you're going, and if you're the one playing, versus obviously playing and then having to go back and watching all your footage of you playing is just a little bit more tedious than I think actually when I was playing it, you know. I was having a good time, I was enjoying. I would lose track of time just going through Weapon Master 2 You wouldn't realize how long, like now that I've edited the videos, you realize that a whole dungeon can take you almost, you know, just doing 2 dungeons, and you feel like you've done barely anything. You just completed the dungeon twice because of the extra mission, and that's over an hour. You don't even realize you've played an hour of Soul Calibur 2, you know what I mean? So you can easily lose track of time. So we both get hit by the fire as I try to knock her out, and she, of course, for some reason doesn't get hit by the fire. There we go. Using the fire to our advantage, we beat up on Sophitia. And it doesn't seem like there's any feature here. All the way around, a whole shoe. An entire shoe of a dungeon, quite literally. And no, unless it's right here near the beginning, if you go this direction. And Sophitia kicks our ass. Just in one fell swoop, just done. Wow. Okay. Navigating the booby trap dungeon as we always do. And now it's not Sophia, it's Nightmare. Whenever he's got his hair, I always say it's Siegfried, unless he's wearing his full armor, but he only goes by Siegfried in later games. But yeah, there we go. Boom. We defeat him. There's one room left and then the boss. But it doesn't seem like Hero's Trial had anything extra to offer us. So, while we're still going to have to go through every room again, probably directly after this, obviously, you guys can avoid, just find your quickest route to the boss. Now that I've showcased you guys the map, you guys will know exactly where to go. And we don't do the grapple that I wanted to do to get him out of there, but against Keelik, we just need to hit one more time, one more hit, boom. And there we go. So yeah, Hero's Trial, unless I missed something, there's no unlockable within the Hero's Trial, at least on the first attempt. Obviously, just in case, we'll go through the extra mode. Now, granted, this could mean that there was an unlockable item, but it's already been purchased. There is a factor there that could have happened, because as I said, periodically throughout this, I was recording and buying out shops. So, there might have been a weapon that was unlockable, that was already purchased. So, keep that in mind. And obviously utilize those bombs and the fire to your advantage here to win the chapter, and obviously still not unlock anything. So wow, so far we've beaten the chapter almost completely, but this is subchapter Strong Souls is now unlocked as a result. After completing the test, you proceeded down the Hero's Trial. As the day passed by, you began to lose all sense of the passage of time. You wondered for just how long you had been walking. When you finally saw a light ahead of you, you broke into a run. Okay, so when you beat this dungeon, you unlock a subchapter. Would you find Leon on the path ahead? Did he take the same trail that you did? In the next instance, you once again stepped upon the surface of the earth. The dry surface wind embraced you, and you closed your eyes in response to the bright open sky. Was this Mount Procyon? No idea. And we actually are able to catch up with the reading here. This is crazy. Wow, I left myself actually quite a bit of time on this one. The peak of Mount Procyon, located to the south of Merrick, stood towering into the sky before you. You'd been traveling due south under Merrick the whole time. The people of Procyon were known for their unique physical abilities and displays of valor in battle. Many heroes and great men of history were born here on this mountain. You had arrived in a land of people who carried a magnificent heritage. Okay, so that's basically what you unlock by defeating the Hero's Trial the first time. So you get Assassin, right? You do those missions on the subchapter. Then you beat Hero's Trial the first time, and boom, you unlock subchapter 4 right then and there. Very cool. Very cool, that. And that's without doing the dungeon the second time. We still need to go back and do Hero's Trial again, as we're going to do this here before we move on to the subchapter 4. But that's how you unlock subchapter 4, is defeating the Hero's Trial. So, that dungeon does have an unlockable, it's just not in the form of anything that we can tally. So now we face off against Necrid, so we got to do this all over again. What fun, but at least then it'll be over, right? The more dungeons we clear earlier on, the better the final videos of this gaming guide will be. They'll be a little bit more fun. Especially that shopping one. Like after Weapons Master 2, I believe I'm going to just go straight into the shopping one, get all those unlockables, and then do the final stuff that you need to do to really get everything, right? Here we get into it with Maxi. Haven't fought Maxi in a while, and holy shit, okay. Our health is down. Wait a minute. So in the extra dungeon, okay, this is like the Berserker dungeon, I believe. That's going to be a bit of an issue for us. A lot of an issue. The health you remain with is the health you start with. Yep. So that is going to be a huge issue. I didn't realize that. So this is one of the 2 dungeons, I believe, that end up doing that. The Berserker dungeon is one of them. And the extra dungeon in Hero's Trial is the second one. So we're just hoping to get an upper hand here and hopefully go for a ring out. And no, Ivy decides to use her super combos and kick our ass. Now there is passive healing by the looks of it on our character, but that's not helping us much when we can barely, we have to do a whole health bar in this amount of time. So will we reset the dungeon and try again? I don't know. Have to wait and see here. You know, because basically if you get on behind the 8 ball, it's unlikely you're to recover. And with all that guarding going on, and we're just trying for the ring out here at this point. And no, he gets us. This is probably going to be the rest of the video. I would be surprised if we are on this uphill battle for the rest of the video. Yeah, so I exit it and say, nope, we can't allow that to happen. So we're definitely going to do this again. If you get into that situation, you know, you basically, it's the same thing I did with the Berserker one, not recognizing the problems. This is where you go for a lot of ring outs, and you have to start off this way. There's just no question. And then, boom, go for the ring out. Which, of course, we don't get initially, but we end up getting. You recover that little bit of health, and then you're at full health to continue on. So you really do have to think about this going forward. If you win a fight by that sliver of health, that's going to be basically no good to you going forward. So you really want to win every fight with over half your health. If you don't, then, you know, you're just going to struggle. Not saying you can't win. Not saying that, like, I'm really good at this game or anything, and obviously I should have been able to win some of those fights. And then, after doing all that, and I say all that, and I said that fully, with full honesty, believing this to be the same idea, this second fight, that's the condition. So none of what I said is relevant. Go figure, right? As I said, I hadn't played this dungeon in months. Like, all this gameplay is a couple months old, right? So I totally forgot that. So it is not like the Berserker dungeon at all. That was part of the condition of the fight. So no matter how much health you start with in that fight, you are always going to be at that disadvantage in the second fight. That's just the challenge of the second room of the fight. So ignore everything I just said, and yeah, you're just going to have to struggle your damnedest off and make miracles happen, right? And then I assume that each room has, of course, its own set issues. Most of the extra missions do, and they're unknown conditions, and that just happens to be one of them. Okay, Sungmina, get out of here. Yeah, it's quite funny that even I fell for that. Quite funny that even I fell for the initial time. And as you guys saw, I exited. But maybe that's why I left that edit in, to prove that point. That initially I thought it was similar to the Berserker dungeon, where you only recover so much health and stuff like that, and it can become a problem. But no, that just happened to be the condition of the second room on the extra mission. So, yeah. That's probably why I left that edit in there, to showcase you guys, don't make my mistake. If you're following this along and you're not here yet and you haven't completed this, do not follow my mistake and think that, oh, that's part of the problem.
The fighters' final battle. Fight.
Damn. Now, ever since that loss against the first couple, we've been doing pretty steady here. Pretty steady. We have the heel of the shoe. Heel of the shoe is complete. Let's go along this baseline against the guarding demon herself, Talon, who doesn't seem to know how to guard an overhand attack. Oh, but she knows how to guard impact that. Oh, shit. And that she just took advantage. A little bit of acrobatics and a little bit of a push. And we lose anyways. Even when she's not guarding, she's setting you up. I actually really like Talon. I think Talon's probably my favorite. She's definitely my favorite female fighter, I think. She's like she's unique to play as. She's a lot of fun, and I kind of like her character. Level of innocence, little level of like the religiousness, like, oh, I believe in the good and the heart of the people and stuff, you know, just in this world of Mortal Kombat. And Cassandra also kicks her ass there. So 2 women and 2 L's to take. Link, I don't think is much of a ladies' man as we've been led to believe. Or I'm not, one or the other. I somehow believe Link is a better ladies' man than I am. I mean, look at this face, and look at his face, and look at my face. I'm pretty sure Link is more of the ladies' man. Strong silent type and all that, right? Except for the, yeah, and the soyas. My god, I can't seem to get a 1-up on these ladies. Finally, there we go. Going for that ring out. We love to see it. We love to see it. Alrighty. Excuse me. And up against Assassin. Alright. Assassin has many uniforms. I like the one with the helmet myself. The Rohan looking helmet. I think it looks pretty cool. Yeah, at this point, as you guys can see, we are relying more on our arm throw that we never used in Weapons Master Mode 1. Not that we couldn't. Once we learned our controls after a few chapters in arcade mode or 2. Once we learned it, I realized I thought it was super cheap, and I've said this before in the other videos. I thought it was really overpowered. Like, it was pretty easy to just lure your opponent and do that every time. So in the matter of making things not only interesting, but just to be able to have fun and not just cheap the game out with the same thing every time. Even though I have my standard attacks, you guys know I like my, my top A, bottom A attack, and I love my overhand Y, which we're just using right there. I do like to mix it up a little bit, and I do enjoy the actual fighting mechanics. So instead of just going for the same strategy every single time. And for some reason we're going for all the Ys. Alright, well, there we go. It does work against Raphael. Yeah, so we're doing pretty steady. So now we've done the the heel into the bottom of the boot. And now we're up against Raphael again a second time. Alright. Bring his ass out. 3 hits, ring out. We'd like to see it. We love to see it, in fact. Do love to see it. Man, oh man, I will recommend to you, fellow people, do not fall and hit your back on concrete, let me tell you. Or at least, quote-unquote, try to break something so the hospital will give you something a little stronger than over-the-counter crap. Because if you don't break anything and all you do is bruise every organ and every bone in your back, then they don't really do much for you. And Ivy is going to win this. Ivy she dominated us. She destroyed us. Though I feel like this is another one of those I got to bring her out things, because I feel like I did more damage than is showing on that health bar there. Let's try this again.
Final battle. Fight.
And Berserker kills us. In a perfect. Once again, the bane of our existence. Goddamn Berserker. Every time. I cannot stand this guy. So this is proving to be a bit of a problem room for us right now. Now it's Sungmina, who guards our initial strike. Oh no, they don't have the health thing. I've just sucked against both Ivy and Berserker. Alright, so they don't have the super health or the super defense. Just trying to get the openings and not take so much damage ourselves. There we go. Oh, come on. Yeah, there we go. What to say, she had no health left. No health left. It was a sliver you couldn't even see green. But there we go, we do it. Of course, there's the boss room, of course. But we're going to just go all the way around just in case to make sure that there is no other... and obviously we're still going to need all this gold anyways, so it's all accumulative. And here's another mission where you're at a low amount of health, low advantage, so you're going to have to probably go for the ring out for this one as well. 100% on that one. Just a long wait time there. I was like, okay, that was a little weird. I was like, did the video pause or whatever? I had to quickly check it. No big deal. Okay, so up against Talum now, and once again, this is one of those half damaged. As you can see, we're getting passive, but this is where you want to go for the ring out, obviously, to get all your health back. So there's a few of those, obviously, hidden here inside of the shoe dungeon. Hero's Trial, standard fantasy ass, you know, medieval name for a dungeon. You know, it's very fantasy genre, but the dungeon in the shape of a shoe should be like the cobbler's pit or something like that. The cobbler's tomb. How's that? Hey, Fido. The people who get that reference, you're awesome. You grew up in a great time. Not this shit world we're in right now, but a much better time. Alright, Cervantes versus us in a ice rink. Oh, this is fantastic. And I forgot to bring my damn Canadian hockey skates. Oh my god. Really? Ah, come on. We had his ass. We had him. Let's be real. We had him. Anyways. Alright, let's go. Let's do this again. This time it's up against... Oh, Taki. You know what? I would want... Well, I did say I wanted to end this dungeon quickly because, of course, it gets a little boring. But I didn't mean for Taki to kick our ass in literally 2 seconds. 2 seconds and we died. Okay, Necrid. Both Necrid designs are great, by the way. I think Necrid is so cool. I'm usually not into that shit. I'm usually not into the monster designs and stuff like that. Like, a lot of them get this weird... I don't know how to describe it. I like monster designs, but sometimes it's characters. Like, I don't want these big hulking grotesque, you know, scales and spikes and piercing just for the sake of looking like as weird as possible, as unique as possible. You know, it's almost like trying to overcompensate in some way. But Necrid, both the Necrid's designs, I feel are the right amount of tone to them. They've got personality, and I think that's what's lacking. I think sometimes, a lot of the time, especially in manga, people do designs for the sake of, like, horrific designs for the sake of shock value. They're not following a theme or anything like that. They're just trying to be creepy, trying to be, you know. They're trying a little bit too hard, but I feel like Necrid had thought put into it. And here we go, up against Necrid once again. Talking about Necrid, and he shall appear. Funnily enough, in the same costume as last time. And he's definitely got one of his more powerful weapons on him because of the color of that. Oh, come on, we had him there. That's why I hate when the camera changes, because I swear that would have mattered. And now he's going to win this, 100%. Yep, here it is. Oh, no. We actually managed to get him, but Necrid was kicking our ass. I still say that the camera shifts where Link's going to throw. I think he overthrows when the camera does that. And what I mean by overthrow is not that he throws farther or shorter, but he throws, if he was going to throw at like a 110 degree angle, he throws at like a 140 degree angle if the camera didn't shift. I just feel like that's the case. And we easily, of course, the ice rink sometimes giveth, sometimes the ice rink taketh away, and that time, 4 seconds, Maxi was down. Down and gone. Now, once again, I believe there probably is unlockables in this dungeon, and we just already have the weapons in question. I don't know which ones they are, unfortunately. There might be a GameFAQs guide that showcases that. someone who went through Weapon Master mode without buying any of the weapons in the shops to confirm these type of things. Unfortunately, you guys are just going to either have to... But obviously, this proves that you're not going to miss out on anything. You just have to buy it, right? So, one more fight, and then the boss, and then we are done with Hero's Trial, the dungeon, both times.
Final battle. Fight.
So far we've unlocked Assassin. One thing, but it's a character. It's a big thing, you know? There's only one character left to unlock. And there goes Nightmare. Nice and handily in 10 seconds. So we've unlocked that, but we've also unlocked a subchapter. I know that doesn't appear here or in the thumbnail. That's a big thing as well. So hopefully we unlock a few more things here, because there's still another, you know, there's still more time in the running of this edited video. You know, I thought that the Hero's Trial, we might be into one of those much longer dungeons, or we would take longer in the dungeon. So now we have to fight a Valdo with his Soul Edge weapon. And he gets us into the fire. Oh no, look at that damage. Look at that damage. That is not good. That is not good. We're going to have to keep him in the fire. Yeah, okay. So this is going to be difficult. He has the hyper defense and or the stupid amount of health, double the health thing that like Inferno and them get. So this may prove difficult. And obviously at this point, I don't believe you can change characters inside of a dungeon, so I can't cheap out using Nightmare like I did against Inferno. And once again, no, the thing's still running. Why do we leave that so long? I must have messed up the editing for this particular one, because first we left the editing for the for that match too long, and now we're running here for quite a while up against the boss. Huh. Okay, there we go into it. So it's still Valdo. Obviously us with the Massive Sword, the Guardian. Now once again, these are some of the final bosses you're going to encounter in the game. So of course they're going to be difficult, you know. Baranach. So obviously we're going full on. We're going to try to keep him in the fire. It doesn't work. We'll go for the guard. Try to get him into that fire. Try to keep him there, though. Yeah, but he's doing way too much damage. He does, like, look, we dominated that fight for the most part. But the amount of damage we're doing is just not enough. We need to get a wall combo on him. There must be something in the boss room. The conditions in the boss room either must be wall combo, hurt him in the fire, something like that.
The Almighty Ones have granted you a sword to cut your own path.
It would have been cool to beat him in his best costume too, but unfortunately that's not the case. So third time a charm, let's see what we do. Alright. Okay, we're keeping him stabbed in there, but for some reason, like this is my problem with the fire mechanics, as I was saying. Like he's been in there the whole time. Like look, he's in the fire. Why is he not being burned? And then it is so you definitely want the knockout, and we do get a new feature. Yes, finally another thing to show that it is unlocked. And what is it? The gag weapon souvenir gift from Mitsurugi. After all that, but yeah, so you need to knock him up against the cage. That's how you're going to defeat him. Otherwise, you're going to struggle pretty heavily there. So Hero's Trial is complete. So that subchapter is 100% done, as you guys can see. And now we have this new subchapter, subchapter 4, to go forth with. And there's 5 missions here. There's quite a few missions. So let's start off with this one. The ability to knock back the enemy has been increased. Moreover, you cannot hold your footing at the edge of the stage. Defeat the enemy under these conditions. Alright. So it just means ring out Necrid. Oh, there's 4. Oh, okay. I hate when it says enemy when it should say enemies, and sometimes the description does say defeat all enemies under this condition. And Necrid kicks the shit out of us. Now we do ring him out, but do we get all our health back? No, we do not. Okay, so we have to fight Necrid, Lizardman, Charade, and Astaroth all without getting our full amount of HP back. I recommend this strategy, so you guys can see. Now we got most of our health back. Okay, so now we're 2-0. We need to go 4-0. Let's do it. Up against, oh, Charade as Cassandra. Go for it. Not quite enough. Just that little push because they cannot hold their footing at the ring, remember. So you give them that little nudge, they will fall in. We're 3-0. Gotta defeat Astaroth. And we're at full health. Should be able to do this. Of course, it's hard to block that super move of his. We're too close to the center of the stage for that to have worked, obviously. But you get him close enough, then start bashing his ass in, and it'll work too. So boom, even though we lost our footing at the end, it didn't matter. And we won the first mission. So there's going to be 10 missions here total, including a dungeon. So that's the first out of 10. We have 9 more to do because obviously you got to do each mission twice. Now we're going to do the extra mission. We didn't unlock anything for that either. So far we've gotten a weapon, a sub-chapter, and a character. And that's about it. So still a lot to cover down below. There's still a lot of things to unlock. And now, once again, this is 4 more. And we're being pushed away from the enemy, it looks like. Yes. Sliding on the floor is showing that we're slowly being pushed away from the enemy. Yeah. So the forces keep the enemies apart. So you gotta defeat the enemy with that condition in mind. So Assassin, Lizardman again. Okay. And still can't hold their footing at the edge of the ring by the looks of that. So that's good. Because they're not drawn to us, we're pushed away from them. So, and they're probably pushed away from us too. So maybe it's not hold the footing at the edge of the ring. No, because it doesn't seem like they're being drawn back. Okay, I had that. Okay, boom. Look at that. That ring out against Berserker, our arch nemesis. Usually known for taking us down so easily. And boom, now we're up against Necrid. 3-0 going into the Necrid fight. Let's do this. Alright, Necrid. Feel like being wrung out today, buddy? Ooh, not good. Doing his best Ivy impersonation there. Okay, we get 1 attack in, 2 attacks in, 3 attacks, and 4 for the win. Alright, so you do not get anything for completing that mission, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Okay, so let's move on. Well, I don't think we want to do that dungeon yet. So let's try to cover up some of the other more interesting missions here. So you will be launched high into the air when knocked to the ground. Defeat the enemy under this condition. The enemy. So it should just be Young Sung. The enemy, not defeat all enemies. Yeah, it is just Young Sung. So, okay, he's launched into the air too. Oh, and we do major damage to each other when knocked into the air. I see. So that's when I've got to do the damage. There we go. And we mess up again. Now we could, of course, just wring his ass out. But we do manage to do the air combos like they want. And a new feature was unlocked. And let's see what it is. Extra Survival Deathmatch Mode. This is how you get Extra Survival Mode Deathmatch in brackets. That's a mode added. Finally, another tally we can add for down below. It's all relevant. It's all relevant. Okay, so now we do the extra version of this mission. And then we'll be 4 out of 10 completed. Commands will launch high into the air when knocked to the ground. Use air combos to defeat the enemy. I assume you can ring them out.
Are you ready?
But let's see. So this time it's up against Taki, who of course loves to guard. That's probably the big thing here. And she's able to do a shit ton without an air combo, so we're going to go for the ring out. Yeah. How do you like that? And now another feature unlocked. Plus we got to level 60. Only need 12 more levels to unlock the final chapter. And we got termite snack. The weapon for Maxi. His joke weapon is also obtained here if you don't purchase it. So there we go. We got another one there. Okay. So now we're going to go up to here to the Tower of Happiness. So we have 4 out of 10 missions complete. Now we have to fight against Charade. The strong gusts increase your ability to knock back the enemy. Defeat the enemy with a ring out. Alright. You guys know how much I love my ring outs anyways. Excuse me. And it's Keelix style. Of course, he doesn't need to beat us with a ring out. We do. So we're trying to keep him right to that edge. Simple as that. Now, it might take a few attempts. That one actually worked out in our favor pretty nicely. Obviously, this is going to take a few attempts. It is what it is. Then the extra mission, just do that as well. So we're halfway down the chapter already. And here's Charade again. The ability to knock back the enemy has been increased. Furthermore, receive heavy damage when knocked into the wall or ground. Okay, so we do not want to fall. And we don't want him to get us near the... Oh, is that Soul Calibur? Oh, God. Okay. Oh, yeah, we're going to need a ring out here. Boom. So that's all you got to do for that. You'll get plenty of gold, plenty of experience for doing so. And there we go. Now we're 6 out of 10. And we unlocked... Oh, this is how you get to Chapter 8's dungeon, by the way, which you do. So now we got 2 more dungeons. 4 until... Oh my god, so many dungeons to cover. No wonder this is almost 20 videos. It's all the dungeon crawling. Monetary prize doubles with each win. Gauge your strength and win the matches. So obviously you can end this at any point. Win 1 match and we're good to go. We'll see how many we do here. It's 5 characters as always. Link being the final one is always scary. 2 lizard men by the looks of it too. So ring out for Taki for the first one. We're just going to end the battle and take the money, people. And when you do win that, you unlock another chapter. Cepheus, which is extra chapter, Ancient Hero. You heard an interesting rumor at the Lynx Arbor, a busy gathering spot for strong warriors. The grave of the ancient hero Arcturus lies in a land to the south. The hero Arcturus had wielded a sword just as legendary as Soul Edge. The location of his grave had been a mystery for almost an eternity, but it would appear that someone had found it at last. Or at least that's what the rumors said. Arcturus, I believe is how you say his name. Even if it turned out to be false, it would be definitely worth the trip. Your decision made, you wasted no time in making your way to Cepheus. But it's not going to be that easy, said the man who had told you of the hero's tomb. Hero's tomb. A man known as the Gravekeeper resides in Cepheus. His duty is to protect Arcturus' tomb. He's not just any old warrior, for he's the guardian of the hero's tomb. No one's getting anywhere near that tomb without defeating him first. Okay, alright. Fair deal. So we are unlocking quite a few things. Circling around the east side of the Mount Portucion, you soon stood overlooking the land of Cepheus. Visions of the great hero's sword floating through your mind. You took a deep breath and strode forward. Alright, so we've unlocked multiple extra and sub-chapters this video alone. And this one has 3 missions as well, but of course another dungeon. Oh my god, we are going to be doing so many long-ass dungeons, it's crazy. And we have to do them twice. It's the twice that bothers me. It's the twice. I really wish the dungeons would just be at one time though. And we're just looking at the shop here. Oh, this is where we get the Great Fairy Sword, the ultimate weapon for Link. So you unlock this. Here's where we're going to buy it so we can utilize it because there is no downside to the Great Fairy Sword. It's his ultimate weapon. So you use that, the ultimate sword, wield it to discover its true power. Use that for the rest of the game to make your life easier. As you can see, this is how, and I've showcased you guys how you unlock Subchapter 4. Then if you defeat that mission right there, at the Link's Arbor, then you will unlock the subchapter where you can finally purchase the Great Fairy Sword. So now we play the extra mission. The enemies are quick and possess weapons that excel in guard breaks. Monetary prize doubles with each win. Gauge your strength and win the match is our first match with the Great Fairy Sword. Now, of course, we're probably just going to go monetary value with this. Also, you have slightly longer reach than the Master Sword, I believe. But the damage output is definitely significantly better. And, of course, we have healing with the Great Fairy Sword. So we're going to try. We're going to try for more. Let's go.
It's time to die.
Battle 2, fight.
Yeah, so you get passive healing with the Great Fairy Sword, which is fantastic. So if you keep up hyper offense, and it's actually quite, it's not slow. For as far as passive healing goes, it is not slow. So you keep the enemy a little bit, they keep guarding and stuff, you're only going to gain stuff back. So we decide to end it at 2. We get ourselves up to level 62, an Iron Hero. But there we go, so we're almost completed subchapter 4 here. Because we've completed now 8 out of the, 8 out of the 10 missions, one of them of course being a dungeon. So we're trying to clear, at this point, we're trying to avoid all the dungeons. We're doing the extra missions. So here we go, we're going up against, in the final chapter, of course the final chapter being the first one. Your health is low and does not recover. Defeat all the enemies under this condition. Well, we will recover with our Great Fairy Sword. See, this is what you want this stuff for. So we have to defeat 5 enemies this way. And yes, see, our health will recover. So go up against Raphael and just start swinging that Great Fairy Sword. Or whatever character you guys end up using, you know what I mean? Whatever's your favorite character, whatever. Unlock that chapter, get their best weapon, if you don't already obtain it, or you don't have a playstyle that needs it. Fantastic, but I find that this makes my life, it is significant. It does change things. And once in a while, just go for the ring out. If you have the opportunity. Don't change up your playstyle just because you have the passive healing in that regard. Still, if you got the opportunity, ring their ass out.
I accept your challenge. Battle 3, fight.
Mitsurugi's proving a little bit difficult here. Oh my god. Man, oh man, he knows exactly where to hit when the combos aren't. We managed just barely to beat him there, but of course we're not going to recover any HP. As I said, even though that passive healing is good, look at what we're at. So this can absolutely become a bit of a struggle here. And we still have 2 more characters, especially the demon herself is showing up. And now we're just going straight up for the grapple at this point. And we do get it, but that means, once again, no recovery. We're going to have to do the same ring-up strategy with such little HP to Talon. Guard demon herself. Okay. And there we go. That's all you gotta do. Like, this mission, I believe I failed about 6 times. So it is a difficult mission, so don't feel bad about the Midnight Coliseum there. So yeah, now we're back in Chapter 8. So it looks like I want to avoid some more dungeons. We already did some dungeons here. Looks like I really do want to avoid doing any more dungeons for this video and just cover some other stuff. So maybe do extra Chapter 2, yeah. Defeat all the enemies under unknown conditions. Okay, so we're going to be jumping around this last section of the map for a while here. Probably do a dungeon and its extra dungeon per video until we finish off. Unless one of the dungeons is relatively short. And also, of course, the final chapter's dungeon, we only need to do once more because we already did it once. Sorry. That was a combination of a cough into a burp into my back catching in my throat. Now this I lost. I remember this so well. I lost this bloody mission. I'm going to say probably about as much as any other mission. This is one that I lost into the double digits. Easily. I think I lost this almost like 17 times. I would get through the first 3 to 4. I'd get up to Sung Mina, and then after that, it was a nightmare. Because look at, like, Taki just does not want to cooperate. When you finally get her, you throw her the wrong way. It's quite brutal. Like, you really need that passive healing. And just the guard demons are both here, Taki and Talon. So this becomes quite hard. Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's 7 characters in a row you gotta beat that makes it difficult, and you just need something to go wrong once. You know, and they all have, like, I don't know if it's their best weapons, but they all have really good weapons. So, you know, you have to beat the 2 sisters, of course, Sophia, Cassandra. You gotta beat Ivy, who we already just beat, Taki, Zhonghua. You know, you really need that passive healing, because, I mean, it's helping us out here. And you don't get all your health back, as you guys can see. There's the big thing. You don't get all your HP back, so you really want that passive healing to slowly help you recover. Otherwise, you know, by the time you get here... I lost against Sung Mina, must have been like 5 times. Because she usually pulled stunts like that, and I wasn't able to ring her out. But thankfully, I got a ring out there, got back to full. Okay, so the first row is defeated. We still have Cassandra, Zhonghua, and then Talon.
You're definitely not my type.
Oh, she's got the red rod. She's got the Oracle of fucking Seasons over here. And she's guarding a lot. Bit of an issue for us. And we're hoping to get capitalized. Yes, we do. Okay, 2 more. Just 2 more. I don't know if I'll show a loss after going this long, but I can admit freely, guys, I lost this one a lot. Double digits at least. Don't think quite like 20 times, but wouldn't be surprised if I saw the mission and it said, oh, you lost this mission 18 times. I'd be like, yeah, makes sense. We've just been getting heavily lucky, like Zhonghua there. We capitalized on just hyper offense, and it worked, but sometimes, of course, the AI plays the game completely different. And then, oh, that's some Soul Edge shit against Talon. So we really want to do heavy damage right out of the gate. We don't want her doing anything. And boom, we get a perfect. A mission that took me longer than some dungeons to win. And we get a perfect at the end. Like, that's crazy. So there we go. So there's the first time. The enemy recovers health all the time, over time. Defeat all the enemies under this condition. Okay, maybe this is the one that it took me 18 times. Because that one looked a little easy. We still have to fight all 7 of them while they recover health. Because that might have been the thing that broke the camel's back right there. I hate that saying, but I said it anyways. Yeah. No. It was the first one. It was the women one. This one's difficult, of course, and I still struggled with this one, as you guys can tell. But I definitely remember having an easier time with a mixture of characters. I remember the all-female attackers was what really sucked. Okay, now Voldo with Soul Edge. Yeah, Voldo with Soul Edge and healing. That's just scary. So just go hyper offense at his ass. And that works. So we're back to full. Of course, our passive healing is doing its job. The Great Fairy Sword. I mean, at this point, you're fighting the last missions. Go to this chapter and get your best weapon. Oh, and Soul Edge for Mitsurugi. I haven't seen that. That is one gnarly ass sword. And then we get a perfect. I think it's part and parcel. This one is slightly easier because they're all using Soul Edge. As we know, Soul Edge takes away. Like, you gain health by... like, it's sort of working against it. The passive healing isn't nearly as good. Because you're gaining health by doing damage. But I mean, with the healing, that should be a negated My god, that one was hard though. So yeah, I'm just talking out my ass. I'm just wondering about how Mitsurugi like died seconds later with passive healing.
Don't waste my time. Let's go.
Battle 5.
Yeah, so they all have Soul Edge. So with Taki, we're just gonna ring her ass out. We don't want to have the long fight with that. Plus, we needed the health back. So that was our best strategy there. Now we only have Cervantes and looks like Siegfried left. Man, Cervantes is so cool.
Battle 6. Fight.
Okay, yeah, see, he's losing health as he doesn't attack. Even though he's got passive healing. So yeah, so Soul Edge is taking away health as he doesn't attack. And he rang... I don't know, what is it called? Rang himself out. He ringed himself out. Fucking, yeah. That was quite funny. That's hilarious. But yeah, I think this is easier because even though they get the healing, the Soul Edge completes are taking away their HP as well when they don't attack. Yeah, like this growth one, it's not even... the healing isn't even helping him. He's slowly losing HP. And we ring out Siegfried as well. So boom. Mission complete. Love to see it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of this particular part. Obviously, we still have a few more, considering all those dungeons. We're obviously going to be into a few more videos before we complete Weapon Master Mode 2. And though once we are complete, we did unlock a few things. Mostly weapons and stuff, but we did unlock a character, some modes, etc. So we'll definitely be into hopefully unlocking just a few more things, finally getting to that shopping guide where we'll unlock even more stuff, and then of course polish up anything that we missed during Weapon Master Mode, anything else you have to do in other modes to fully complete the museum. So but that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as always. And we'll see you guys back here next time for some more Soul Calibur 2 Gaming Guide complete. Looking forward to it. Hope you guys are too. Have a good one. Sayonara.